Hey there, YouTubers. Dr. Tess here. This video is coming at you kind of difficult, but it's a reality that I have lived, and I want to protect you from living the same reality. Be very careful when you purchase from RingCentral. Beware. So, basically, my office is expanding, and we have people that are working with us in different states. As I'm licensed in more than one state, there are quite a few of us, and we're trying to address everyone's concern and medical issues. So I had to get a more vibrant, robust phone system. So I decided to get a VoIP phone system, and RingCentral basically recommended a certain phone to purchase. I was 100% upfront with the representative, telling him I have no familiarity with electronics, IT. I'm kind of a fish out of water, but I was trusting his professionalism. So he recommended I purchase a certain phone. The phone arrived, and I was so excited. And I take the phone out the box, and the representative who was taking me through the setup was telling me where to place the Ethernet cord. And I was like, Ethernet? I'm an aesthetic physician. I use my hands. I'm at different locations. This cord, I can only go so far. And he said, oh, well, you should have gotten the Wi-Fi. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't know you have a Wi-Fi system. And he said, yes, the rep should have told you about that. So I felt like it would be an easy fix. So I get on the phone and I talk to my representative, and he was so nice to me. He had given me tickets to this big event that they have coming up in San Francisco. And I was like, well, I'm quite sure he'll resolve this issue very quickly, since it was his recommendation that I followed. Long story short, his resolution was I pay a second time for the Wi-Fi phones, and once they receive the phones back that he recommended, then I would be refunded my money. So I was a little bit shocked about his answer. I said, so let me get this straight. You recommended I purchase the phones that I purchased, well over $1,000, and I give you another $1,000, $2,000, and then you'll give me the correct phones, which you should have recommended in the first place. I didn't feel comfortable with that, nor do I have the money. I'm a startup, and I'm funding my medical practice on my own. I only have a limited amount of funds, and I had exhausted my resources, and I basically shared with them my credit card won't go through. But I can't talk to my patients. I'm on call. That was my only phone system. My phone number has been ported from AT&T, which means that if I don't communicate through the RingCentral phones, I can't talk to my patients. My patients can't send me a text. I can't respond to their text. I can't respond to their call. I can't respond to their messages. I can't book an appointment. I can't follow up. I can't do anything. I shared this with him. He repeated. Sent him another $1,500. And we went back and forth, and finally he got off the phone. And so my whole evening was ruined. And I started up again the next morning, which was this morning, about 8 o'clock this morning. I talked to the original representative. I talked to the IT person. I probably talked to about 4 or 5 people. And this went on until about 5 something this evening. And finally, my mother came down to the office because I couldn't even render patient care because I was talking to RingCentral. So my mother sat on the phone, and finally she offered to pay the extra $1,500. Mind you, my mother is 70 some odd years old, and she's retired, and she's on a fixed income and only gets a little bit over $1,500 a month, but she was willing to give it to me just so that we could get the phone system restored. There's absolutely no kind of way, because it's not the point of the money. I've had a laser that costed quite a bit of money. The company sent out the replacement, and they took the defective item, did not make me pay again for the laser. I had a handheld instrument called an AccuVein. Amazing instrument, I love it. Twice. I think the AccuVein cost $7,000. They sent the AccuVein, and after I received the one that worked, I sent the defective one back. All of the companies stated, we don't want to interrupt your patient flow. But this company that basically has my entire communication system adamantly is going back and forth with me and will not send the phones that should have been recommended initially until I give them another $1,500. I think that is the amount. So finally, my mother stayed on hold, and we got in touch with someone who was no longer in the Philippines, was in the United States. And I felt like I was probably getting to, because I respect the fact that they outsource. I don't have a problem with that. This is not anything against any outsourcing or the way the company runs as far as their staff. It's the lack of empathy, especially I'm a doctor and I trusted the representative and I followed their recommendation. So the person who I spoke with, she was very apologetic and stated, well, I'm just going to get you a shipping label and let's get this done. And she sent me to a website, and I put my information in, and it kept like stating it wouldn't go through. And I said to her, well, I wonder why it won't go through. I mean, all we're trying to do is process a refund. And she said, yeah, maybe there's something wrong on the end of your credit card company. So I called American Express, and they were like, yeah, we would not block a refund. It's not us. So at this point, I'm just really not thinking. I'm exhausted, and I'm just so happy that I'm feeling like the cavalry has come, and I'm finally going to get this phone thing resolved, and I get to talk to my patients again. After I finally calmed down, I read the fine print, and it stated $25 reshelving fee for each phone. I bought 4, that's $100. To reshelf something that never should have been taken off the shelf, if the gentleman had have told me the correct phone initially. And it stated, once we get the other phone, we will refund your money. So basically, at 5 p.m., well over 24 hours later, I was at the exact same spot that I was the day before. I have text messages where, like, at this point, I can see a text message from my patient, but I can't respond. So I have one text message where my patient stated, I'm still out of the country. Is it okay if I talk to you? I couldn't respond. I have new patients that I needed to confirm their appointment. I couldn't respond. And I had a previous text system, SMS, and I tried to use that because it's online. Doesn't work because my number has been ported. I'm on call today. And basically everyone has had to communicate with me either through a cell phone, my mother's cell phone. I have basically been out of commission. So finally I called American Express and I asked them, what are my rights? And American Express stated that in their professional realm, they've never heard of anything like this. And they were like, oh, this company is a scam. And honestly, I still think that RingCentral is a good company. I have no idea what is going on in my regard. To say I'm disappointed is an understatement. I was so happy about getting RingCentral and looking forward to the integrations with Salesforce, and I felt like I was finally where everyone else is and able to just be there for my patients. And it seems like what I did in attempts to be more available for my patients has left me estranged. I can't even talk to them. So I will be starting my fight again first thing in the morning. I think the Merchant Department of American Express opens at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and I will be on the phone with them, which means that I will not sleep much tonight, because in actuality I can't sleep because my practice is the reason why I'm here. I'm here because I'm a concierge doctor and I love my patients. And for me to not be able to talk to my patients is like a parent who's away from their children to not be able to talk to your children. I miss them. I miss my patients. And I can say at this point, if I had have known attempts of getting a phone system to communicate with my patients would have left me in non-communication land for 2 days now, I would have stuck with the system I had because at least it worked. Now, I will follow this video up, hopefully with good news, because I'm a very optimistic person, and I feel like after getting on the phone tomorrow and beating it up, being transferred, put on hold, I don't care, whatever it takes, this will hopefully be resolved. And I also have made peace that if I have to, I'll send the $1,500 up front, because I can't put a monetary value on my patient being able to connect with me if they're having chest pain or if they're having shortness of breath. There is no monetary value. My patients, they're priceless. So I'm prepared to go ahead, but I've never heard of this before. So anywho, I think I'm kind of rambling at this point. Leave your comments below. And I actually have decided to come out of my shell. I am a solo physician, and I'm doing what doctors kind of really don't do these days. I still believe in private practice, the personal house calls, calling your patients, going to their birthday parties, being there for them. So I'm already open, but I'm going through the establishment of a private solo practice, and I couldn't afford the $50,000 marketing teams and all this, so I'm doing everything organic, and I'm learning through the school of hard knocks. So if I had a business team, I'm quite sure that this wouldn't have happened, but I'm glad it happened to me, because now I know what can happen, and I can share how to build a private practice in today's society with no loan money and with no investors. I could share some of my woes with maybe someone else out there who's going through this. So I look forward to touching base with you tomorrow with some awesome news that RingCentral came through, saved the day, or if I have to send them another $1,500, I'll let you know that too. All right, well, Dr. Tess signing off. Have a wonderful night. Oh, and if you liked the video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe because we're about to be staying in close touch with each other. All right, take care.